We'd like to welcome you to another broadcast of our Pikeville Independent Schools Principals Forum. And as always, it's a pleasure to be joined by Mr. Michael Rowe, principal at Pikeville High School, and Mr. Robert Jones, principal at Pikeville Elementary School. We've really, to say the least, hit the ground running since the beginning of the new year. A few things that's uncommon for us. We've actually had 2 snow days this month, and of course the first 2 within 2 years. And so our students and staff have had the pleasure of taking off the past 2 Fridays, which is extremely unusual for our school district. And then, of course, the only other day we've been out this school year has been for the one day taking off for our boys basketball team, making it to the state All-A tournament. So 3 days this school year to make up thus far, and we certainly, that isn't an unusual event for our school district, but again, only 2 of those days for inclement weather. And want to begin with Mr. Jones here. There's several events going on at this time, and several events having to be canceled. And I would imagine, first off, something's probably never happened before: Little League being canceled 2 weekends in a row. Mr. Jones,
we had to cancel our Little League basketball games 2 Saturdays in a row. Actually, it was probably necessary to do so, but want to let everyone know we've had a couple of people asking about the upcoming schedule. All Little League basketball games will resume Saturday, the 9th of February, on their regular schedule. In other words, the game that was scheduled to be played on February the 9th originally will be played. The games that were previously missed, that were postponed due to the weather will be made up at a later date. So we will begin the games back at 9 a.m. on Saturday, February the 9th at the Blue Goose, with the games that were scheduled for that date. And all other games will be made up.
Okay. What other things have been going on?
We were just now talking. I've got a few things here. I guess the biggest thing when you look at upcoming events, actually we got 2 or 3 pretty big things, but one thing that we've been receiving a lot of questions about, particularly from parents of our 4th grade students, is on February the 12th, a select group of students, and when I say select group of students, 4th grade students, we don't get the honor or the privilege or the responsibility to select that group. They're selected for us. But a select group of students will be taking the NAEP assessment, which is the National Assessment of Educational Progress test. It's given to 4th, 8th, and 12th graders across the nation ever so often. We have been selected to have 63 of our students, of our 4th graders, take a test in reading and in math. And that test will be given on February the 12th at the elementary school. Our stakeholders have probably seen a lot lately in the newspaper about Kentucky being a top 10 a school district, state school district nationwide. Well, the NAEP scores that are given periodically, I think the last time our school participated was 2009, but the NAEP test scores that are given periodically factor into that ranking. So it's important. It doesn't affect our state testing scores, but it's an important test, and we made sure we stressed to our students the importance. And again, that test will be February the 12th with 63 of our 4th graders participating in that. The biggest, and I mean biggest, question that we're getting, and it's becoming more and more so daily, is when are we enrolling students? We're starting to get those phone calls we do every year. Seems like we've got a lot more this year. Hopefully that means there's a big kindergarten class for us, but we've been getting a lot of phone calls. Our registration for kindergarten and new students begins on March the 5th. That's a Tuesday morning, on March the 5th, and ends on the 15th of March, which is a Friday. from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily. There will be an evening registration on March the 5th from 4:30 to 6:30, and any other times you will be added in the evenings if needed. We stole a little thing from the high school they did last year. I think last year may have been the first year. I don't know that the high school did this, but we are putting all of our registration forms online. That's not completed yet. Those forms will become available when this registration opens. We're going to ask our parents, all that will. We're still going to have paper and pencil copies at school. You still can come in and do that. But we're going to ask you, if you would, to do that online. You'll be able to type on those forms and then print them and bring them in. The key to that will be, and I'll explain all that a little bit later in an email to our parents and all of our stakeholders, is the key is still going to be when those forms are turned in, as far as when they're numbered and dated. But we're going to offer the option for online registration, but it's not a complete online, which means you'll still have to print those forms and bring them in. But anyway, that will open up on March the 5th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Also, we have two students who are competing in the KMEA, Kentucky Music Educators Association All-State Children's Choir. I want to say congratulations to those students. I've mentioned them before, but Mrs. Kelly, the director, and those students will be participating very soon in that. It's Mara McCoy and Brittany Hopkins, two very talented young ladies, and we want to wish them well in the All-State Children's Choir. No, I can speak for Mr. Rowe and myself. After some tedious work, our school comprehensive improvement plans have been submitted. And we're ready to get started implementing all the changes. That's about all I have.
Okay, thank you. A couple other things that I would ask that our parents and stakeholders mark on your calendars. One is for February 18th, President's Day. There will be no school for students again on February the 18th or President's Day. However, our staff will be working that day, and it'll be a planning day for our staff members. The other dates that I would ask that you please circle on your calendar is March the 18th through the 22nd. That's spring break for Pikeville Independent Schools. Again, the dates for our spring break will be March the 18th through the 22nd. And so many times, if parents aren't planning on attending a trip out of town or taking their student somewhere during spring break, they really want to know those dates so they can schedule doctor's appointments, orthodontist appointments, dental appointments, or what have you. So we would ask that you please use the week of spring break and also President's Day coming up for those. Mr. Rowe, I know there's a litany of things going on at the high school and a great deal of interest in some of the items that you'll be covering today.
Yes, first of all, I want to apologize to stakeholders if I miss out on anything. There's a lot of things that is going on at the high school, and especially when it comes to the kudos part. This comes from coaches, sponsors, and parents who email me and let me know. So if I miss something in the kudos, hey, shoot me an email and we'll make sure we'll get you next time. First thing I want to bring to attention is our academic recognition for graduation. Currently, our Academic Performance Committee is reviewing our current policy. We are now currently honoring the top 10. The policy has been in effect for quite a few years. Also looking at possibly a summa cum laude, and a laude system, which would allow for recognition of more students beyond the top 10. So when I sent the email out last week on the stakeholder, basically there's a survey asking questions about that. I'll continue sending out that survey link. Please fill it out. Let us know what you think. If you want to come to one of the meetings for academic performance, the next one is Wednesday, February the 6th, and that's going to be at 3:15. To stop by the front office, we can direct you to the correct location for that. So make sure you give us your input because it really matters for us when we make major decisions. I want to say kudos to Ms. Tracy Tackett in our ACES class. for the Future City contest that was held in Lexington, Kentucky. They won Best Overall in Writing, Best Model Design, and overall first place. They're now going to represent Kentucky at the Nationals, which are held in Washington, D.C. That is going to be February the 15th through the 20th. The students who are participating are Kyle Martin, Ryan Crum, Haley Williamson, Will Williamson, Cameron Lane, and Phoebe Thornberry. We're very excited for them having an opportunity to travel to our nation's capital. I'm kind of jealous. I haven't been there myself yet, so hopefully have a great time and can bring back a national championship for us. I want to say kudos to Coach Williams and our boys basketball team. They partnered with Cornerstone Church and actually took part in their backpack program. Our students were there, our players were there, actually filling up backpacks for food for students for non-school days. I think it's great anytime we can have a group of kids that are involved with helping students with needs, and we're very excited for that. I also want to say to remind you that we still have the Cell Phones for Soldiers going on. This is run by Miss Scott in the Panther Pride Club. If you have a used or broken cell phone, I know many of us have old cell phones laying around, please drop them by school, and we can get those to Miss Scott, and she can get those out for the soldiers who are serving in the armed forces for us. So please, if you have extra cell phones, please give them to us. I want to say kudos to Coach Asbury and our high school academic team. At the Governor's Cup district competition, we had a very strong showing, and I want to go over some of the results that have been shared with me. In written composition, for first place, we had Jared Alton. Fourth place, Blaine McNulty. Fifth place, Krishna Amasetti. And in math, we had second place, Patrick Cordero. And third place, Sean Hillwig. Also in math, we had fourth place for Chase Thacker. In science, first place for Patrick Cordero. And second place for Krishna Amasetti. In social studies, first for Ahmad Mansour. And fifth place for Isha Narola. In language arts, we had first for Aman Ali, second for Noor Ali, and third for Isha Narola. For arts and humanities, first Aman Ali, second Noor Ali, and third Michael Gaunt. In future problem solving, in second place, we had a team of Krishna Amasetti, Vienna Lee, Michael Gaunt, and Sean Hillwig. And on our quick recall, we had a first place team of Aman Ali, Noor Ali, Patrick Cordero, Ahmad Mansour, Michael Gaunt, and Alex Malone. All these students are going to advance to the regionals, which are held February the 16th at Johnson County High School, and hopefully from there on to the state during March. So kudos to all of our students and their hard work with the academic team. Kudos to Lauren Hamilton for being named the varsity court queen. Very excited for her. Kudos to Ray Kasongo for being named Hutch Chevrolet Player of the Week in basketball. Kudos to Coach Williams and our boys basketball team for winning the All-A Region Championship. That's the first time in 20 years. It was a great showing by our city and our stakeholders coming down to Frankfort and cheering us on. So thank you for the travel there, and kudos again to Coach Williams. Kudos to Coach Lane and our junior high academic team for winning their district. And kudos to Coach Webb and the PHS dancers for their first place finish in the Palm Jazz and Open Routines at the regional dance competition. They will advance to the state dance competition in Frankfort on February the 23rd, 2013, which is a Saturday. That'll be held in Frankfort at the Convention Center. One thing that I want to share, we are a high school of distinction that was given to us by our state based upon our assessment results. We will be receiving a banner here in the upcoming weeks, and we're very excited about that. Once we do that, we'll be sure to be able to share that with you and put that in a place where we all can see. February the 16th is our baseball's pancake breakfast, so write that date down. March the 5th, a very big day for our juniors. This is the state assessment of the ACT, so all juniors will need to be present that day on time and to take the ACT test and hopefully score very well for we can get the best scholarships possible. We have a dance/dinner hosted by our football boosters. It's called the Valentine's Dance and Dinner. That is set for Saturday, February the 16th at the local country club. So folks who want to be part of that, it's $100 per couple. All you have to do is send an email to Miss McNulty, and I'm sure she can find an extra ticket for you. We also have a football banquet, and this is set for Monday, February the 18th. Again, I apologize if I miss anything on the kudos, but if I have missed anything, let me know. We'll make sure everybody gets their due diligence with this. Mr. Green.
Mr. Rowe, I want to make sure that we're clear on this. The dance team advancing to the state championship, this is only their second year of being in existence?
This is second year in existence, and It is growing tremendously. We have a lot of younger girls that's interested in. Coach Webb is doing an excellent job, and I'm glad that Mr. Green and the board were open when we came and asked to have a dance team. So it's just a niche that's filled for a lot of students who weren't participating in anything else. And one thing that Mr. Jones pointed out to me, and how dare I forget it, our cheerleaders did win their 15th regional championship once again, and they'll be competing February the 23rd down in Bowling Green. It's no longer with KPOS. It's now with the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. And our cheerleaders are synonymous with success, and we wish them nothing but success when they compete.
I believe the date that was canceled due to weather, but it's February the 23rd, I believe, the date where it's been moved or changed to. So we certainly want to say congratulations to them. The other point that we want to stress, within our new accountability and assessment system, that March 5th date is huge for our juniors taking this assessment. Just as a few moments ago I shared February the 18th and March 18th through 22nd about dates to take off and to schedule those doctor's appointments. Well, we want to make sure that you place in red and highlight that March 5th date if your son or daughter is a junior, to make certain that that's off limits for anything as much as possible, so that the only focus for that day will be the ACT at the high school.
Yes, and as last year, our makeup date for the ACT falls during spring break. For any student who cannot make it on that day, then you have to take a day off during spring break and come back and take that test. That is not something we set, but that is a date set by the Kentucky Department of Education. So make sure we're in attendance. If not, we'll have to ask the students to come back during spring break to take that test.
Wow. Certainly, I don't think any of our students would be eager to do that, so
No.
We encourage them to come back on that day. Also, we want to wish Mrs. Lane and the junior high academic team well wishes. I believe they'll be competing tonight, actually, within the region, so certainly wish them the best. Our team's been extremely successful at the elementary school. I know that Ms. Fields and Ms. Brewer worked extremely hard at our last principals forum. A huge amount of thank yous to them, and I'm sure they've been celebrating their success since.
Our sixth grade, as we mentioned a couple of times already, we're really proud of our academic team at the elementary school, and really proud of the coaches. First of all, our sixth grade team was a regional runner-up. Our fifth grade, our third through fifth grade team, you competed a couple weeks ago and placed really, really high in every category, winning a lot of categories in the region. That's with about 14 different schools competing. So we're really excited about the prospects. Governor's Cup will be coming up pretty soon for our third through fifth grade team. So we're looking forward to some regional championships there to add to Mr. Rowe's kudos. So maybe he can give us a little kudos next time.
Sure.
It's something, too, that I need to stress. Mr. Jones had mentioned earlier concerning registration upcoming and being placed online for the first year ever for the elementary school. And again, saw that went extremely well this past year for the high school. Certainly want to thank our new guidance counselor, Ms. Stewart, for the work that she's done there concerning enrollment, working with students, making sure that not only you as parents but also the students are aware of the many scholarships available, and trying to get that information out to each of them, and trying to make sure that not only are they applying for those, but whether it be in the finals or that our students are continually in contention for each of those. And no one has a greater interest than you, the parent or guardian, in getting a much less expensive education.
And I guess one thing I want to mention about our enrollment that I forgot to mention, it was one of my main priorities today, and I'm glad that you brought it back up. Parents of upcoming kindergarten students and new students who will be enrolling in our school for next school year, you have three options. I want to explain that to you. I mentioned the online registration, But you will have 3 options beginning on March the 5th. Those 3 options are, number one, you can go to those forms online that will be online that day at 9 a.m. and complete those forms online, print them, and bring them in to the school. The key is getting them into the school. That's number one. Option 2 is you can come to the school and we will provide you with a computer that you will have the opportunity to do that, sitting at school online, and we will print those and you can turn them in that way. That's option 2. Option 3, if you would prefer to do the old paper and pencil form, we'll provide that for you as well. But our parents will have 3 options to enroll students in our school for the upcoming fall. Online, come to school and you can do it online, or the old paper and pencil format.
Something that we do need to share with parents, and I've had several questions about this recently regarding outside our school district admission into the school district. Those applications, there's a date and a time stamp on those applications. And regardless what level of academic or athletic evidence you have, it doesn't, that's not the determinant of you becoming a member of our school district or your son or daughter being enrolled in our school district. We accept all students, and that's something I want to make perfectly clear. And designating the date on that application and the time is the order in which your opportunity for admission is here. Now, something I do need to point out to you: just as we hold any other in-district student accountable, outside students or tuition-paying students are held accountable within this district too, be it those grades, be it attendance, and also disciplinary infractions. So you're held accountable within those areas, and of course, since you're not paying the local city school taxes within the district, you'll be paying tuition for your son or daughter. So I need to make sure that that's out there and make that perfectly clear there. But what I can tell you, if you look at the data and the results, it's the best bang for the buck that you can spend for your son or daughter, and the $925 for the tuition.
And one thing I want to make clear, because people's going to say, why is he saying this over and over again? But I want you to understand, Mr. Green mentioned the time and the date on those applications, and that time and date is extremely important as we make decisions. However, you need to remember, and we're going to try to everything we can, because there is a change this year. We're doing it a little differently. We're doing it online with computers. But I want our stakeholders to understand that just because you're completing that form on a computer, once you finish the form, that does not mean that you've submitted that form. You must print it and bring it, and then you will receive that date and time. So it's the date and time that's put on that form is what matters, not necessarily how fast you can complete it online. So just make sure you understand that although they're completed online, you have the option. Please print them and bring them to school, and then you will be placed on the list with the date and the time.
Right. And also I had a lot of questions regarding a recent newspaper article that was printed, and just to clarify some questions on that. We have non-resident agreements or reciprocal agreements with 6 school districts in eastern Kentucky. 5 of those school districts, it's any and all. We share among our school districts. Students from our school district are free to attend theirs and vice versa. However, one school district, and that being Pike County Schools, we have a limit, and we can only receive or take up to 320 students. We currently have a waiting list, and that's why Mr. Jones has stressed 3 different times, even during this broadcast, the importance of getting the registration materials in and enrolling your son or daughter to our school district. And something that I'd be remiss in leaving this program without thanking publicly both of these gentlemen, Mr. Rowe and Mr. Jones. Received a letter, also an email followed up by the commissioner asking for our district's attendance tomorrow in Frankfort. You see, there's 174 school districts within the state of Kentucky, public school districts, and 9 of those school districts are going to be recognized tomorrow as districts of distinction. That's the highest level possible within public education. And Pikeville Independent Schools, as you probably expect if you send your son or daughter or grandson or daughter to our school system, is one of those 9 school districts. And it's because of students like yours and also our staff members. You know, the Super Bowl was held this past weekend, and one of the things that kind of caught my attention, both the coaches were brothers, and they came from a great family, the Harbaughs. And growing up in Michigan, there was something that the parents would always say to them as they dropped them off to school each morning. And that phrase that they would ask them is, who could possibly have it better than us? And of course, their children, before they exited the automobile and got out of the car and went into the schools, would say, nobody has it better than us. And that's the way that I can tell you that I feel, hopefully every employee feels working in our school district, is that we're so blessed with the students and the staff that we work with each day. And that's one of the things that we'll think about tomorrow as the commissioner hands us our banner of distinction and a letter congratulating us. And I'm sure there will be a press conference there tomorrow in Frankfort regarding this. But it's kind of like, as you get that, it's on behalf of the students and the staff and the parents and our community stakeholders here that not only demand, but they expect that high level of performance. And whether you're paying your city school taxes or whether you're writing that check for tuition, that's the level of performance you expect. And we're so blessed. Regardless the budgetary woes, and I try not to mention those on here, and I could go into a lengthy discussion about our budget and how it's dwindling and all those woes, but regardless what obstacles are set before us, the expectations are performing at a high level. And that's our expectations for each and every day for your son or daughter. And I don't know, maybe these two gentlemen may want to say something in regards to that, but I certainly want to thank them and their staffs at both schools and the students.
One thing I would like to say, and it kind of harps on what you said a while ago, about students who live out of district here, they're paying $925 to go here, which is a steal. We are currently as a district 4th in the state when we talk about ACT scores. Number 3 is Beechwood Independent Schools. They're one spot ahead of us, and they're paying over $7,000 a year to go to their school. So you talk about a good deal, there's not a better deal than the Pikeville Independent Schools.
Thank you. And I would echo that sentiment. Mr. Rowe and I aren't brothers, but we could tell ourselves every day, we're lucky to be where we're at, to get to work with some of the best students in the state, if not the best students in the state, and the best community. And we're blessed to be able to do that. But our focus is education. Our focus is educating all the children that we have. And we're going to continue to try to do our best to improve on a daily basis.
To sum it up for you, our district will be always about one thing, and that's continuous improvement within student achievement, so that every day not only are we getting better academically, also hopefully every day we're helping or assisting you, mom and dad or grandparent or guardian, in helping to make sure that your son or daughter or grandson or daughter is moving each day a step closer to being the young lady or the young man that you're trying to help mold them into. So we appreciate that opportunity, and we feel blessed to work toward achieving that awesome goal each and every day on their behalf. Thank you.